Well, by now everyone knows that platform sharing is not new to Maruti, Suzuki and Toyota. And Toyota has three cars that it has been sharing the platform with Maruti Suzuki. We have the Baleno based Glanza, then we have the Grand Vitara based Urban Cruiser High Rider, and before this car was launched, we also have the Ertiga based Rumion. Now, this right here is what Toyota calls the Urban Cruiser Taisor, and it's based on the Maruti Suzuki Fronx. And in this video, we're going to tell you everything that you need to know about this car. So let's get started. Now, we've already done a detailed walk around of the car and seen what's new with the Taisor. But let's check out what are the differences as compared to the Fronx, and mainly these differences are in the front of the car. Now, looking at the front of the car, I really like how Toyota engineers and designers have managed to get the Toyota face onto the Fronx, and this really differentiates it from the Fronx if you are looking at this car in your rear view mirror. And if you look closely, you will find that the DRLs have been inspired from the Urban Cruiser High Rider, and this grille right here, it's mostly like the Innova, but it is a bit smaller. What's differentiating here is also this bumper, which has been redesigned a bit. Looking at the car from the side, you will notice that this is more or less like the Fronx. You have the same sloping roofline, the same butch stance, and you have some body cladding here, which gives it the crossed over look. What's different here is the wheels, and these alloys are redesigned and they are different than what we get on the Fronx. The rear, on the other hand, gets very minor differences. Only this part here, the C-section LED, is what is different from the Fronx. This central part is pretty much similar, and this piece right here is also exclusive to the Taisor. You also get the Urban Cruiser Taisor branding right here, and right here you get the variant. As you can see, the rear bumper has also been redesigned. Now, while we are at the rear, let's take a look at the boot as well. Like the Fronx, the Taisor also gets a 308-liter boot, which has a very deep loading lip. So you really have to get your back into lifting up your stuff and putting it in the boot. But you also get a 60-40 split, which means you can open up more room if you want to, carry more luggage with you. Well, the differences between the Taisor and the Fronx end at the exteriors, and inside the cabin is nothing different than the Urban Cruiser. You have the same layout, you have the same color scheme, the same seats, the same color on the seats, and the use of hard plastics, these accented materials, everything will remind you of the Fronx. However, what you'll notice is that it's easy to get a comfortable driving position, and the ergonomics are pretty good. What I did not like is that on the manual version that we are driving, I do not have a dead pedal here, so it's not very comfortable to keep your left foot on the side while you're cruising on the highway. Other than that, this is a good driving position. You get a good view of the road, even though the glass area is pretty small because it's quite sloping. You have a good view of the road and everything falls at hand. It's very easy to get to, and overall, if you're driving, you're going to be pretty happy. The seat cushioning is kind of on the softer side, so they're comfortable for short journeys. I mean, if you're going to spend a lot of time in these seats, you might end up feeling tired after a while. Other than that, the seats are pretty comfortable. I like the bolstering right here. Even for someone who's as wide as me, the seat accommodates me really, really nicely. Now let's check how are things at the back. Well, things at the rear in the Urban Cruiser Taisor are similar to the Fronx. There's nothing much different or new here. But with the Fronx and the Taisor, what I like is you have ample knee room, ample leg room. I'm also seated very comfortably. The seat height is also decent. My head is barely touching the roof. My height, for reference, is 5'9", 5'10", and up to 6 feet. I think you should be fine, but anything above that, your head will start brushing against the roof. The driver's seat has been adjusted to my driving preference, and still I have a lot of space under the seat, a lot of knee room, and good under thigh support. The seat cushioning is soft like the front seats, and it will keep you comfortable for shorter durations. For longer durations, you might feel some fatigue. Good thing is that you get 3 headrests, individual headrests for all 3 passengers. You also get 3-point seat belts for every passenger at the rear. However, there's one caveat that these seats do not have load sensing, which means that the alarm for the seat belt reminder is going to go off for about 90 seconds until someone plugs it into this, even when there's no one sitting in the back seat. So that's kind of a bummer, and Toyota could have added that extra bit to, make the Taisor more desirable than the Fronx. Besides that, you also get rear AC vents and 2 USB sockets. One is a USB Type A and the other one is a Type C to charge your devices. Another miss is the central armrest for the rear passengers. Now let's get driving and see what the Taisor drives like. Now before I talk about how this car drives, let's check out what the engine options are. So like the Fronx, you get 3 options here. The first one is a 1.2 liter 4-cylinder petrol engine that puts out 90 HP of power and 113 Newton meters of torque, and it comes mated to a 5-speed manual transmission or a 5-speed AMT transmission. The same car is also available in a 5-speed manual with a CNG, and in the CNG form it puts out 78 HP of power and 98.5 Newton meters of torque. The third option is a 1 liter turbo petrol engine that puts out 100 HP of power and 148 Newton meters of torque, and it comes mated to a 6-speed automatic or a 5-speed manual transmission. That's the car that we are driving today. And right off the bat, I can tell you that the engine performance is no different than the Fronx. But for someone who has not driven the Fronx, let me tell you that this is a very responsive engine. And especially with this 5-speed manual transmission, the 1 liter engine is fun to drive. Now, most people would go for the 1.2 liter naturally aspirated engine because it's more affordable and it is more efficient as well. But if you want to have fun and you like outright performance, then this is the one that you should go for. The ride quality is stiff like the Fronx, so at slower speeds you're going to feel those bumps on the road, and any bad patches on the road, they're going to creep into the cabin. However, on the highway this is pretty stable and the suspension does a very good job when you are at higher speeds. In terms of insulation, the noise is not insulated very well and you can hear the engine roar whenever you push the pedal. Besides that, you also have the mild hybrid tech, so whenever you need that extra boost of power, the battery would kick in and give you that extra boost. In terms of fuel efficiency, the claim numbers are 21.18 kmpl for the manual transmission, and in my short drive with the car I was able to get around 17 to 18 kmpl, which is fairly good. Most of it has been on open roads, not the highways but open roads at higher speeds, so gear shifts were not required. There was very less driving in the traffic, so the fuel efficiency numbers look decent. Another thing that I liked in the Fronx, and I like it in the Taisor as well, is the handling. The steering feel is very nice and you get a good feedback as well. There is no artificial feeling to the steering wheel. It weighs up really well and the car is really easy to handle. The clutch action is light, the gear shifts are smooth. However, the dead pedal is very close to the clutch, and if you're someone who has large feet, you might not find this very comfortable. So if you're in the market for a compact crossover, you like something that is compact, small, but is not as big and brawny like an SUV, the Taisor can be the car for you. Well, should you choose this over the Fronx? Well, that totally depends on what kind of design you like. In my opinion, this feels more premium, more polished, and I really like how Toyota has integrated the Toyota look in the Fronx's body. And in my opinion, this looks much better than the Fronx. But again, looks are subjective, so you can go for whichever design you like and prefer. One advantage of going with the Toyota is that you will get 1 extra year of warranty because Toyota offers 3 years warranty on the Taisor, whereas Maruti offers only 2 years warranty with the Fronx. So that should help you make your final decision. I hope I was able to answer all your questions. If there are any questions that you still might have, put them down in the comments and we will answer each and every one of them. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe to Motoroids if you haven't already. Press that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we upload our next video. This is Vipul signing off. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.